heavy debt load with our water and wastewater rates. And then, as is mentioned in the actual motion, that other Ontario municipalities are recognizing the threat of the pending fiscal cliff that economists are talking about, and instituting debt reduction strategies. Sarnia locally here is one of them. I'm sure there's others locally too. And the Ontario government is cutting back on municipal payments in order to reduce its significant debt, and its deficit as well. And then I believe that whereas the principal and interest payments limit our municipalities' options and our opportunities, and that we're sitting at right now an annual principal and interest payment totaling $1,783,000 annually. So we're spending over $1.7 million to just service our principal and interest. So what I'd like to do is just propose this motion that council supports in principle a program to expedite the debt reduction strategy and refer this matter to staff for report and potential initial implementation in the 2013 budget. So present that to council for discussion.
Councilor Underwood.
What are the potential ramifications of us changing the direction we've been going for the last municipality, 10, 11 years, 12 years, right? We've got a plan. It's working on. I understand what you're saying. I don't like that either. I can't stand it. In my own household, I won't have it. But we've got a plan. We've got I think, a fairly conservative plan. We do have a high debt load that we're paying it off now. What ramifications? What are we going to be losing by doing this? What are we going to be doing?
It's asking for a staff report, and I think that report would take.
And that would take them there?
Would go through each of the loans that we have, find out what the interest rate is, find out whether they're locked in, what they're locked in at, whether there's a way, and if we want to get out of them, what the penalty is to try to get it to a different interest rate, and where they're paid off. That's what this is asking for. Is that what you see? Is that it? And I think you do that with all the loans periodically. So it's asking for a report on where those loans are. I don't think you're asking to raise taxes 5% towards the debt. You're just asking for how are we going to just a report on where the loans are sitting and whether we got the best rates possible and with best terms.
Okay. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor
I
Dec.
think there's one more aspect too, and that is that if there is opportunity at some point, if there's, like, for example, you have a year that you end off with some extra cash in some area, that it would go towards debt reduction. If you just have that mentality, that focus, that let's try to reduce this debt a little more quickly than we're doing right now, so that we'll be freed up to spend this money we're spending on interest for something of value for the community, then that's another aspect I think too should be covered.
Okay. Motions they're asking for a report. Councilor Cook.
Is there going to be impact on reserves if we start looking at where we're going with this? I guess that's my concern. We work hard to keep our reserves where we're at a certain level. I think we're on an automatic reduction basis right now. We have our treasury good dollars to look at where the interest rates are on our loans right now. I'm not saying we shouldn't get a report, but I think we're kind of jumping at hoops here that we don't need to jump for.
Councilor Scott.
Am I correct in believing that we at one point were at, I think it was the 2011, we were up to about 21 million in debt, and we've now currently paid 4 million off. I think we're down to about 17. Yeah, 17 or 18.
That's good. That's excellent. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's, yeah, Carol sent out about our notices of motion, how we dealt with them, so the part of the motion would be when would we expect to be able to have this report? And I would ask Janet in February?
No.
The end of January, first meeting in February.
Okay. So that's okay with council? We can make those changes through the debt, through the year. Yep,
Yeah,
and
okay.
then push it. All in favor of that? Carried, opposed? Carried. And Deputy Mayor Dec has a second notice of motion. It's asking prepare the budget without the admin allocations. Deputy Mayor Dec?
Yes, obviously I need to have a second just to discuss it, if that's possible, just briefly. Obviously, that's the limitations. Thanks.
Councillor Lonsdale, second for discussion.
I'll just tell you briefly why I presented this motion that states the council direct staff to prepare the 2013 budget in a comparable format to Lambton County without administrative allocations, but with the maintenance of our existing business units. And the reason why this is coming forward is that I had interactions with the treasurer at the county, John Innes, and asked him about why the county moved away from having admin allocations integrated into their budget. And just going to read a couple of things he said here. He said the main reason was that
Point
there
of order,
was...
Mr. Mayor, here we are criticizing our staff in a public meeting again. We don't need to do this. If you want to bring it up in another meeting, by all means, this is not your course, we need to have this council meeting.
He wants it to criticism.
It's coming directly back to our treasurer. What the way she prepares her budget
It's not
report.
hers. It's past council's directed her to do that. She's just doing what she was directed to do.
This is it's asking for a change in the way the budget's done. I think it's, I'll let you continue.
Thanks. So he said that the main reason was that there was no additional useful information gained from the practice that wasn't already available. And says, plus they were incurring significant staffing costs to perform the allocations, which in the end simply seemed to lead to an inflated budget for the department administering this service. And they said bottom line is that any time administrative complexity is added to a process, additional costs will be incurred. If this complexity and cost provides a benefit, it may be worthwhile investment. If, on the other hand, there is no discernible benefit or gain from doing so, then you have to question why you're doing so.
Councillor Lonsdale.
I guess the one question I would have is we have not settled on a CAO position yet, and I'm wondering to make that move is premature, and you're kind of taking a key part of the administration off. I'm just asking you again if you would agree with that. This is maybe premature until.
It's two things, it's a little late and maybe premature. Late meaning we're,
For now.
our budget, we're ready to give it to you Friday kind of thing, so the way it's been provided for the last several years. So if it's something we want to consider for 2014, sure. There's a lot of ramifications I believe that go along with it, because we do access to our water and wastewater, those type of user pay systems that would also then impact your tax rate, so, I mean, there is a lot to consider.
The admin allocation gives us a true cost for each business unit that we deal with by allocating the proper administration costs, even down to the percentage of council time and the percentage of all staff time for that business unit. If we take that out of there, some things are gonna look better, but there's gonna be a block in there of administration. We don't know where it belongs. So I can't support the motion, but it is a timing issue if we want to get clarification. Councillor Underwood.
I'm not averse to looking at it later down the road, but personally I like the business units, I really do, because the administration units, so I can see where they are and all the rest of it. And quite honestly, when I first came on council, the first time I looked at one of these budgets coming through, I thought I was looking at the Dead Sea Scrolls. I'm just starting to work my way through it now, so if we're gonna change anything, I really need to have a training day with our treasurer to teach us how to read these darn things, so. Why we're doing this.
Councillor Russell, I'll let you speak at the end of your motion.
I'll just say, Mr. Mayor, I agree with everything in terms of the business units. The business units give us a good picture. I think we talked about this last year's budget. As for the admin allocations, I think Janet just explained to us it's a little bit more detailed than it could appear to be. Obviously, if we're using it through our water rates and our sewer rates, it's a lot more detailed than just for the business units, because those are the user pay allocations in our budget. So I think looking at anything, we should always review things. And the good business practices is review, but it's the timely nature of it and when you do it and for what reason. And right now, I don't think this is timely at all.
Councillor Scott.
I guess I'm wondering